Energy management is the name of the game for so many people. Entrepreneurs, the most successful among us, and people with ADHD. Or really, any neurodivergent people. Managing our energy, managing our nervous system, and our emotional energy, that's the full-time job. And if we can nail this, if we can get really good at that and devote our attention and focus into managing our own energy and our nervous system, then everything else follows so much easier. And I'm not talking about time or hours, because when people think about like a job, if I think about a job, most people think about like a 40-hour a week, 9 to 5 kind of situation. What I'm really talking about is it's the thing that we put almost all of our full-time attention towards. And if we nail that, then the energetic cost of doing the other jobs is so much lower. It's so much easier. So we may be able to do the same tasks, however, the cost of doing those tasks is so much less. And the very interesting thing about this is that when we have so much energy, doing a particular task actually takes a little bit, like a tiny bit of energy. Whereas if we only have a tiny bit of energy at all, because we're pretty burnt out, run down, depleted, haven't been managing ourselves well, then that same task might require this much energy, like tons. Because the less that we have, the harder everything seems. And when our cup is very full, the analogy of I want to fill my cup, I want to be that vessel full of energy. And when that is the case, everything else is so much easier. If you think about a time that you've just been in a really great vital state and you might show up for a shift at work, and you're happy, you're smiling, you're laughing, you're cracking jokes, everyone loves hanging out with you. You say funny things, they smile, they give you that energy back, and you leave that work shift that day feeling good. You may even have gained energy as a result. Whereas you come to work in a burnt out, drained, tired, and depleted state. In everything you do, someone will say, hey, could you pass me that pen? And you go, ugh. Everything will cost you so much, and you'll be giving nothing back, which means you will be getting nothing back. What's the number one rule of energy? The more you give, the more you get. And if we come into a state with nothing to give, we will be getting nothing back. So if we devote the rest of our time outside of that in our lives and our lifestyle towards maximizing our energy, our life force, our prana, our vitality, then everything else is so much easier. Not only does everything else ask less of you, but you perform better. You do a better job, and that gets you more benefits and rewards, and everything follows. If you nail and master your own energy as priority number one. So maybe, just maybe, consider making that a challenge to yourself for the next day, week, month, year, decade. Putting your own energy as your number one focus, on managing your own energy, on gaining as much energy as you possibly can, and being very deliberate about where your energy is going, where it is being drained and stripped away. Be protective of that, with your healthy boundaries, with your interpersonal dynamics, with your awareness of what you're really doing and how you're really doing it, and your awareness of the interactions in your life and how you feel after each interaction. Because if every time you interact with a particular person and you leave that interaction feeling more drained, then I would recommend you stop those sorts of interactions. But coming back, because I'm getting ahead of myself, and that is a whole lot of additional sort of supplementary content on those topics. Let's strip it back to basics. Put yourself first. Put your own energy first, and everything around you will flow more easily, and all the people in your life will be lifted as a result. A rising tide lifts all ships. Rise your tide. Give yourself that energy. Fill your cup. And watch how the world around you responds.